Welcome today. Today I'm going to go over a robo vacuum that we bought a few months ago, I guess, at used from a buddy. But once I got it home, it didn't work. And I asked him. He said, "Yeah, it worked for me." And I said, "Well, okay, sucks for me, I guess." And the problem was it just said, radar abnormal. So it has this Lidar sensor, which spins using Lidar, sends it out, and then records the time, like measures the time back to map it out. And this one, so it's a bit more, it was like 400 euros new. And bought it used for 200 euros. But there are cheaper ones, maybe like 100, 150 new, that don't have it. They kind of just move, and then when they hit something, rotate, keep moving. But this one uses a map, or it creates a map so that it can learn from to navigate through your house. And it uses Lidar for that. So I've used this sort of in simulations with ROS 2, and so it sends it off, and then if it hits something, okay, no, and then it learns from and creates the map. So, but yeah. So what happened was, and I read online that this problem can happen from just like clean it a little bit, like dust and hair and debris can get in there. And I'll just put this on. Got my Blue Jays shirt on today because they're celebrating that they made the World Series. Anyways, and they said, so you can see how, for example, they have these two holes to send out the light. It's okay, clean in there, make sure there's no dust. And I took the whole cover off and cleaned like this belt for it, and it still had the same problem. And a lot of things they said, if I just rotated it or put some blew some air in there, like from a compressor, and cleaned it up, it worked. The mine still didn't. Cleaned it, didn't. So when I finally took it off, so I took it off. Then I turned it on again and tested it without the whole Lidar radar sensor or unit, and had a different setting or a different warning message saying whatever, I forget, but it was something different. Whereas before it was radar abnormal, check if it's covered, like abnormal reading. But when it was off, it was just something totally different. Just like your thing's broken, totally different. So I left it for a while, didn't work on it, and I thought about replacing the unit because I first saw it, but it was like 80 euros. And I thought, I don't know, it's not quite worth it, especially if it doesn't fix it. But then, so I let it sit for a couple months, and then I was chatting with the ChatGPT, and it recommended which ones would work. Because at first I just saw some Lidar sensors that you could tinker with for makers to build projects, and then I found it suggested no, you can get one that you plug right into. And then I found them. And I thought, okay, it makes sense because since I thought it could be just the firmware, software, it's messed up, but there was no updates in 2 or 3 months. So I thought, well, there's no updates, then it's probably not that problem. And since the error message was totally different when it took off the sensor, then it's probably the whole unit, the unit. So I was able to order it on Amazon for 32 euros from China, but through Amazon. And it also said it could have free shipping or free return, I can return it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll order it, replace it, and if it doesn't work, just return it anyways, and then I can still just try to sell the broken RoboVac. But it arrived yesterday, and this is the broken one. This is the broken one. And since I already took it off, had taken it off, it was easy to just replace it. And then it just worked. Just like turn it on, I already have battery, so I don't have to worry about that, and then just start going, and it worked. So yeah, that was the solution. And it wasn't too expensive, of 30 euros, since you bought it used, the whole vacuum used. Like an 80 euros is a little, it's kind of annoying, but 30 euros is certainly worth it. And yeah, there's the, let's see if I can, this one? So just here is the like the information connector. Anyways, you get it. Whatever. So yeah, there's just the one clip information connector, and then a few screws, which I'll show on the actual vac. And yeah, so you just take the cover off, pop it off, take a few screws off for the protector of the Lidar sensor, and then just 3 screws on the top. And then just this, it's like 4 pin quick connector. Just pull it out, put it back in, put it back, and good to go. And in the app, now it doesn't have any warnings, and just map the room all nicely, and just goes back home to the charging station. And yeah, so ultimately it was an easy fix, but the hard part was diagnosing it and also making the decisions. Like, okay, well, is it just broken? Okay, that's why I thought, well, I'll try it, replacing the Lidar sensor, but if it doesn't work, then I can just return the Lidar sensor and then still have my broken vacuum to tinker with, or just sell it or whatever. So yeah, that's what happened. And yeah, ultimately pretty nice little project. I was thinking about actually just taking it apart and reusing the parts and building like a ROS 2 project to try to get, I mean, not just a ROS 2 project, but to repurpose it again as a vacuum cleaner, vacuum RoboVac, but using my own developed using ROS 2. But I would need to change a lot of things, not just the software. I'd have to use a new microprocessor, so like a Raspberry Pi or something that I would want to use for that, and motor controller, so like an ESP32, but I could still use the motors and the wheels and all that. But I thought, no, whatever, it's too much work. So just replacing the lidar radar sensor, and then worked. Even if I tried to rebuild it, the Lidar sensor doesn't work. So maybe I can tinker with this. I've seen some easy scripts to hook it up to ESP32 and monitor it. So maybe we can tinker with that. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. And yeah. So thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, and until next time, bye for now.